I told myself, I don't have to do anything I don't want to. My body is a temple. If I'm going to let someone in, it is going to be someone who genuinely cares about me. My sexual abstinence journey helped me gain self-worth, and for that, I am immensely grateful. Hey everyone, welcome to my channel where I make your life easier, one video at a time. In today's video, I'm sharing with you what 6 years of sexual abstinence taught me. Afterward, I'm going to answer some questions that some people had about my sexual abstinence journey. If you would prefer to see this video in writing, I will leave the links to the blog posts in the description box. Sexual abstinence may mean something different to everyone. For example, according to Planned Parenthood, a woman can choose sexual abstinence to prevent pregnancy. She'll allow herself to engage in all sexual activity except for vaginal sex. Or a person can choose sexual abstinence for personal or religious purposes where they restrain from sexual activity until they're married. In May 2013, I chose sexual abstinence, meaning I decided not to have sexual encounters. However, I was still involved in sexual activities such as sexting and masturbation. I chose to be sexually abstinent not for religious purposes. However, Jehovah God has played a role in my sexual abstinence journey. I chose sexual abstinence because throughout high school, I didn't have enough courage to say no. If people wanted to kiss me, touch me, or perform oral sex upon me on the first date, I let them. After graduating high school, May 2013, I took a pledge within myself to be brave and to say no. 6 years later, October 2019, I restrained from sexual encounters. Because of my decision and this journey, it has taught me to set boundaries in relationships. I learned self-discipline and I gained self-worth. My goal is not to persuade you to stop having sex. My goal is to shed some light on sexual abstinence by showing you the emotional benefits that come from restraining from sexual encounters. I also want to show support to those who've decided to restrain from sex. With all that being said, let's dive in. Number 1, I learned self-discipline. During my sexual abstinence journey, I wanted to hook up with someone. For example, I used a dating app that is known for being a hookup app. I didn't download the app for that specific reason, but to chat, network, and hopefully go on dates. One night, I messaged back and forth with someone only interested in having sex. That night, I wanted to do the same because I was horny and I found that person sexually attractive. FYI, I only saw 2 pictures of this person and thought they were legit. That's my problem when it goes to online dating apps. And that's the thing with male privilege. As a man, you can talk to a stranger and hang out with that person as soon as possible without the fear of that person possibly hurting you. Well, that night, Jehovah God reminded me that if I say yes to hooking up, I probably wouldn't be having safe, consensual sex with someone I trust. I mean, how could I trust this person? I only saw 2 pictures and found out nothing about this person. Therefore, I told the person I was not interested in hooking up. I then masturbated and all the sexual temptations washed away. My morals, my potential hookup experience, and God taught me self-discipline. Which is crucial because if I want to reach my goals in life and be a man of His word, then I must control my feelings and do what is right even if I'm tempted to do otherwise. Number 2, I gained self-worth. Culture, people, and our inner voice can cause us to lack self-worth. It can take time and practice to develop a strong sense of self-worth. I didn't have a strong sense of self-worth in high school because, as I stated earlier, I didn't dare to say no. However, due to my pledge, I committed to saying no. I told myself, I don't have to do anything I don't want to. My body is a temple. If I'm going to let someone in, it is going to be someone who genuinely cares about me. My sexual abstinence journey helped me gain self-worth, and for that, I am immensely grateful. Number 3, I discovered myself sexually. My morals may have restricted me from having sexual encounters, but that didn't mean I couldn't have a little fun myself. My sexual abstinence journey gave me time to discover myself sexually. Sexual encounters may feel great, but so is having sex with yourself. Also, it's safe. After high school graduation, I bought my first sex toy and I figured out different ways to pleasure myself, which is important because it taught me what I like. Sex toys and masturbation made my sexual abstinence journey more manageable because I had sex with myself and I remained sexually abstinent. And for number 4, I learned how to set boundaries in relationships. Lastly, after I learned self-discipline, gained self-worth, and discovered myself sexually through masturbation, my sexual abstinence journey prepared me for sexual encounters in relationships. For instance, I was in a monogamous relationship and I wasn't afraid to tell my partner what I liked during foreplay or sex. Also, I had no problem communicating about sex and asking my partner what they would like to do sexually. Deciding to restrain from something like sexual encounters, animal proteins, or alcohol may be an easy adjustment or a challenge. Either way, it takes seriousness, self-discipline, and help from others to stick to your morals, even if it's spiritual help. If I need someone to hold me accountable, I know that God can do just that. And if you don't have any of these traits going into your self-development journey, that's okay. You can obtain these traits on the way as long as you're dedicated. Alright, so I just shared with you what 6 years of sexual abstinence taught me. If you're finding this video interesting so far, please make sure to like it and subscribe to my YouTube channel for more helpful videos. And yeah, let's move on to some questions that people had about my sexual abstinence journey. David asked, what about your partner led you to feel comfortable and ready to partake in physical encounters? My ex-partner led me to feel comfortable and ready to partake in sexual encounters because I had met someone who asked me if I would like to be the romantic partner instead of asking, are you a top or bottom? You don't hear that proposal very often, so I took a chance at love. Although that intimate relationship didn't last, I also felt ready to end my sexual abstinence period. Because I reached a confidence level of 100%, I built self-worth, and I wasn't afraid to ask for what I want in bed. Years of solo sexual experiences teach you that it's more than okay to speak up during safe sexual encounters. The reason I started my journey was to develop enough courage to say no. And because I had done that, I felt ready to have sex with someone other than myself. And I knew I wouldn't regret it because it was with someone I was committed to. Because of this journey, I've committed to only having sexual encounters when I'm in a monogamous relationship. My journey taught me that if a person only wants to use me for a good time, then they don't deserve to have sex with me. Honestly, if I would have never accepted that person as my romantic partner, my sexual abstinence journey would have continued. For example, I broke up with my ex-partner in January. Because I haven't entered a romantic relationship after my past intimate one, I haven't had sexual relations with another person. When I'm single, I practice sexual abstinence for 2 reasons. 1, you don't need a partner to experience sexual pleasure. And 2, like I mentioned before, if you only want to use me for a good time, you don't deserve to have sex with me. I don't feel the need to hook up or to have sex with an ex. For example, after our breakup, I felt tempted to have sex with my ex, but I brushed it off because I reminded myself of my morals. I wasn't about to throw away everything I had learned throughout my sexual abstinence journey for no sexual temptation. Plus, my mom said it was too early and that it would only extend the breakup process timeframe. David also asked, was there a set time you had on the length of your abstinence or a particular situation you were waiting for? I didn't have a set time on the length of my abstinence. And a particular situation I was looking for was to enter a monogamous relationship. I'm a sexual being with restrictions. There are no boundaries when I'm having sex with myself. However, when it's with someone else, I need to feel safe. I need to feel like that person genuinely cares, and I need to know that I can speak up during our safe sexual encounters. Another question is from J.Alex.245. She asked, I would love to hear more about your evolution in 1 year and so on. Because time flies when you're living, it's difficult to remember my sexual abstinence journey through stages. There were specific highlights. For instance, I felt tempted to hook up, but God reminded me of my morals, I learned self-discipline, and my best friend and I went to the sex shop to buy some toys. However, what I can tell you is that each year, it became easier to restrain from sexual encounters. And that goes for anything you're trying to give up. The more you resist, the better you learn to live without it. I'm practicing sexual abstinence right now that I'm single, and I don't feel the need to have sex with someone else other than myself. And if I ever feel tempted, I masturbate. After that, all the sexual temptations wash away. There you have it, more facts about my 6-year sexual abstinence journey. If you found this video helpful, please make sure to like it, Comment down below if you have any questions, or if you're practicing sexual abstinence, let us know how your journey is going. Subscribe to my YouTube channel for more honest and helpful videos. And until next time, see y'all later.